No strength comes from another person. It may seem like you're inspired by someone, but in the end, it's up to you to access your own energy. Let me tell you something important. No one carries anyone else's burdens. Some people message me all the time saying, "If I touch you, I'll be healed." No, that's not how it works. That's all in your head. Strength, healing, transformation, all of that is inside you, not outside. That's why I say no one carries anything for anyone else. It's up to you to activate what already exists within you. And you know what the problem is? Some people don't understand this and continue to be deceived. It's fear that makes you believe you need someone or something external to move forward. The truth is, everything you need has already been placed within you. If we have the seed, the soil, and the fertilizer, what's missing? What's missing is a cycle. And that cycle only begins when you decide to sow and take action. Now let me give you an example. How many people do you know who spend 10, 20, or even 30 years not doing what they were called to do? They say, "Oh, I don't have the talent for that. I'm not creative." Oh, but let me ask you something. How can you not be creative if you are a child of God, the Creator? You were made in His image and likeness. Denying this is denying your own essence. Do you know what that is? It's fear speaking. It's the shame of putting yourself out there, of shining. But light isn't afraid to shine, is it? The ones who have a problem appearing are the shadows, because they can't stand the light. So stop hiding who you are. Let me share something about the human brain. Without even knowing you, I can confidently say this. Your brain has 99% unused space. And do you know what's worse? Most of that space sits idle, unproductive, while you're trapped in negative thoughts and fear. But there's a way to change that. Did you know you can make your brain productive even while you're sleeping? Yes, it's possible. I do it. I produce while sleeping, meditating, or even talking. You can train your brain to be so efficient that it's always engaged in productive activity. And if the brain is so powerful when idle, imagine when it's working at full capacity. Now, if you're carrying so much fear, I know why. You believe that fear is real, but often it's just a fantasy someone put in your head. At home, ever since my son Lorenzo was born, I've always told him, fear is afraid of us. Today, at 8 years old, he already understands this and says, fear is afraid of me. That's the kind of mindset we need to instill from a young age. When you let fear settle, it's like allowing a bird to build a nest in your head. Pay attention to this. You can't stop a bird from flying over your head or even trying to dirty it, but you have full control over whether it builds a nest there. The same goes for fear. You can't stop it from appearing, but you can decide whether it takes up residence in you. Life is like a big farm. Imagine you have 1,000 acres of land. It's impossible to prevent weeds from sprouting. But you know what you can do. Pull them out one by one, use technology, seek help and invent new techniques. The point is, you don't have to let the weeds take over your crops. You have the power to act, to remove what doesn't belong, and to protect what's valuable. That's the secret. Action. There's no point sitting around waiting for someone to fix things for you or for circumstances to change on their own. The cycle only completes with movement. So when fear comes, face it. When something seems impossible, do it anyway, because that's what transforms your land into fertile soil to reap everything you dream of. Let's imagine you have a large plantation. Everything is going well, but then someone comes and scatters weeds across your field. At first you might think about pulling them out one by one, but soon you realize that the more you tolerate those weeds, the harder they become to manage. The truth is, if you don't act quickly, you'll end up waiting until harvest time to try and solve the problem. And do you know what that means? A massive delay in your life. Now let me ask you a direct question. Are you afraid of being poor? Be honest. Most people are. And where does this fear come from? The news, comparisons, the idea that if something goes wrong, you'll lose everything. It's a fear that paralyzes. But the most important question is, in whom or what do you trust? Did you lose your job? Okay, but did you also lose your faith? Did someone criticize you, ruin your reputation in a town? Let me share something. I've faced situations where people slandered me online. I was attacked from all sides. Do you know what I did? I looked at the clock and counted. In 7 days, no one was talking about it anymore. That's how it is. Everything is temporary. The secret is to keep planting, even when others try to stop you. Because what happens when you stop? You start chasing after those trying to tear you down instead of continuing to move forward. Here's a clear example. Imagine someone steals one of your seeds. If you stop planting because of that, you're letting the thief win twice. Do you know what I do? I say, be blessed, Because honestly, stealing doesn't bless anyone. Thieves don't prosper. I keep planting because I know my future depends on the seeds I sow, not the ones that were stolen from me. Now, some people live in fear of everything, even criminals. They think there's a thief on every corner, ready to steal their cooktop. Do you know why these things happen? Because fear attracts. You're terrified of being robbed, and the thief, terrified of getting caught, ends up finding you. It's a cycle. So, how did I resolve this?